The Legend of Billy the Kid, a multi-part video series. Episode 1, The Early Years. Episode 2, The Outlaw Emerges. Episode 3, The Lincoln County War. Episode 4, The Final Days. And Episode 5, The Legend Lives On. Bridget, age 48, immigrated to New York with her daughter Catherine and son James. While the search results don't provide exact details about this specific family, we can infer some information based on common patterns of Irish immigration during that time period. Catherine Devine, at the age of 17, immigrated to New York during the Irish Great Famine of 1845, arriving on the HMS Devonshire out of Liverpool. It is possible that Bridget made this journey because she had lost her husband and could no longer provide for her children on her own. This scenario would have been common during that period, as many Irish families were driven to emigrate due to the economic hardships. The journey from Liverpool to the port of New York took about 40 days, with living conditions on board being poor. Overcrowding and unsanitary conditions led to the rapid spread of diseases like typhus, cholera, and dysentery, resulting in 15% of passengers perished during the transatlantic voyage. The 1850 United States federal census is the earliest documented record we have of Bridget's residence and household composition in New York. This census, conducted 2 years after her immigration in 1848, provides the first glimpse into her living situation and family members residing with her. It's important to note that the 1850 census was a significant milestone in American record keeping, as it was the first to list all free individuals by name, along with their age, sex, color, occupation, and place of birth, making it a valuable resource for tracing Bridget's early years in America. The 1850 federal census locates Bridget and her family in New York City's Ward 16, District 3. This area encompasses a specific section of Manhattan's grid system. District 3 of Ward 16 covers 3 city blocks, spanning from 14th Street to 16th Street, and extends from 8th Avenue to 11th Avenue. The 1850 census records Catherine's household family number as 1,994, with the last entry on the page listed as 6,419. This suggests that Catherine's residence was likely located on either 15th or 16th Street. Catherine Devine married Patrick McCarty on June 15, 1851, at the Church of St. Peter, located at 16 Barclay Street in New York City. The ceremony was performed by Reverend M.A. Madden. This marriage date and location is mentioned across multiple sources, providing strong evidence for its accuracy.
Do you, Catherine, solemnly declare before God and these witnesses that you take Patrick to be your lawfully wedded husband? Do you promise to live together after God's ordinance in the holy estate of matrimony? Will you love him, comfort him, honor and keep him in sickness and in health?
I do.
The next recording is the 1855 New York Census, Ward 1, District 3. This shows only 3 people living together, unlike the 1850 census showing 5 boarders. And the location is close to the Wall Street district that formed in 1792. Patrick's age is listed as 43, Catherine's as 30, and Bridget as 2. This is the general area of Ward 1, District 3. Please note that all the old buildings have been demolished to make way for newer skyscrapers. However, a few blocks near the Brooklyn Bridge on Water Street still contain buildings from the 1850s. Here is a picture of Water Street as it looks today. $10 reward posted July 8, 1859 in the New York Herald for a strayed or stolen horse on Sunday night, July 3rd, from the premises of the subscriber, a bay mare, 9 or 10 years old. Has long tail, is stripped on the breast with a collar and on the near side of the back. Stands back on hind fetlock, is in good condition. Whoever will return her to Patrick McCarty, Mount Prospect Hill, Brooklyn, will receive the above reward. By the 1860s, Mount Prospect Hill was home to the Brooklyn Waterworks, an essential infrastructure project for the growing city. The Prospect Reservoir, located at the summit, provided a reliable water supply to Brooklyn's residents. Was Patrick a part of this development? What's your thoughts? Mount Prospect Hill to his current location is less than 3 miles. However, Patrick would have taken a ferry across the East River to get to work. The time to travel to Mount Prospect Hill would have been approximately 30 minutes. Based on historical records, it is highly probable that the bay mare described was a workhorse, distinctive collar marks on its breast and back, and standing back on its hind fetlock, was used for labor, such as pulling carts or plows, given the specific wear markings noted. November 23, 1859, Henry McCarty, later known as Billy the Kid, is born in New York City to Irish immigrants Patrick and Catherine McCarty. Please note from the census of 1855 to the census of 1860, it shows them living alone, suggesting Patrick McCarty is making a good living. This contradicts the census entry as a laborer both times, but both times they are in fact living as a family. Perhaps the census worker entered it wrong? McCarty family welcomed a new addition with the birth of William Henry McCarty, destined to become the infamous Billy the Kid. His early years were spent alongside his older sister, Bridget. According to the 1860 census, Patrick McCarty, then 30, was working as a day laborer, and cared for young Bridget and one-year-old William. They are living in District 1, Ward 1, as see here. From a New York newspaper in 1962, Supreme Court, County of Kings William Douglas against Patrick McCarty and Catherine McCarty. His wife, George R. Ives, Bartholomew Ward, John Rock, Frederick A. Lawrence, Philip S. Crook, Catherine Herbert, George Herbert, and Asher Beatty. Summons for relief. To the defendant, George R. Ives. You are hereby summoned and required to answer the complaint. In this action, which was filed in the office of the Clerk of the County of Kings at the City Hall, in the city of Brooklyn, on the 19th day of May, 1862, and to serve a copy of your answer to the said complaint on the subscribers at their office, number 6 Hanover Street, in the city of New York within 20 days after the service of this summons on you, exclusive of the day of such service. And if you fail to answer the said complaint within the time foresaid, the plaintiff in this action will apply to the court for the relief demanded in the complaint. Dated New York, May 19, 1862. Monroe and Kane, plaintiff's attorneys. It could be any of the following: a property dispute, unpaid debt, business disagreement, or an inheritance issue. The summons doesn't mean anyone's in trouble yet. It's just the start of figuring things out in a fair way. If you're interested in learning more about Billy the Kid's early life, you might consider watching the series or exploring historical accounts of his youth. The show aims to provide a dramatized but informative look at the events that shaped Billy the Kid's life before he became a notorious figure. I'm currently working on a follow-up to the Supreme Court summons once I've gathered enough information, so be sure to follow this series.
Hi, I'm Billy the Kid. If you ever wanted to know about the history of White Oaks, New Mexico, I've got you covered. The site is whiteoaksnewmexicogoldrush.com.